Here are some alarming statistics to grab your attention. A study by the Literacy Project Foundation found that 44 adults in the United States are functionally illiterate and cannot read above a 5th grade level. Another alarming statistic is that a survey conducted by the National Endowment for the Arts says that only half of American adults read books for pleasure. As we all know, reading is a fundamental skill that impacts all areas of learning and life, and that educators have a critical role to play when helping students develop these strong reading skills. My TED Talk is to push my vision. It's to share my passion for this P20 movement and address the possibility of a policy, my service and what I do for my students, how my students are engaged, and the research behind this initiative. My name is Michelle Franklin. I've been in education for 24 years. My entire career I've been focused on teaching reading. I have taught every single grade level K through 8. I've spent time in intervention, gifted and talented, and in tested areas. My chosen and favorite grade is teaching primary and specializing in teaching literacy. I've received my master's in teaching reading and writing. I've attended the Kentucky Reading Project. I've been trained in Orton-Gillingham, and I've even done reading recovery. I've got my national boards in early and middle school childhood literacy, but I'm here to tell you today that nothing has prepared me more than this new initiative called the LETTERS program. You might ask, someone with all this training, why do I still push to learn more? It's because initially I'm not satisfied. I need more answers. I don't have all the answers when it comes to kids learning how to read. Let me tell you about somebody that I know. Me, I was that student that nobody could figure out. No matter what they did, I did not like reading and I did not know how to read. My mission in education is to make sure that no student experiences the struggles that I did when I was in school. Well, here's some exciting news from Education Weekly. Did you know that states are making the science of reading a policy priority? At least 18 states and the District of Columbia have all said that they plan to use the American Rescue Plan funds or the COVID stimulus money to further the science of reading and support evidence-based early literacy work. In the state of Kentucky, they've allocated $10 million in funding for professional learning in the science of reading, which includes the LETTERS program for K through 5 teachers and any staff that is responsible for teaching reading instruction. I am thrilled to announce that I have recently seen the Kentucky Department of Education post 28 literacy consultant positions to help with these alarming statistics. One of the qualifications for these positions is to have completed the LETTERS program. This explains why thousands of educators in Kentucky are being trained in this program. I'm fortunate that I'm one of those educators. LETTERS has taught me the science of reading and how the brain processes language. Through my training, I've had to identify and address reading difficulties. As soon as I started to implement what I learned in the LETTERS program, I noticed significant improvement in my students' reading abilities in a very short amount of time. My struggling readers were making progress, and even my advanced readers were challenged and engaged in their learning. When implementing LETTERS in my classroom, what I absolutely love about it is that you can use these strategies with whatever program you're using. The LETTERS program is a comprehensive literacy program that supports and provides educators with the knowledge and skills they need to teach reading and writing effectively. It gives you guidance on how to differentiate instruction and meet the needs of all your kids. It shows you how to assess student language development for prevention and intervention, and even next steps to challenge your readers. This professional development covers word-to-text skills to figure out any kind of word recognition. It explains why reading is a challenging process and helps you find the missing piece. It also teaches you all the speech sounds that the English language needs. It has a full literacy scope and sequence from phonemic awareness to phonics to word recognition to writing and spelling and comprehension and vocabulary. All of these components make for a fluent reader. What I experience in my classroom each day, what I love most about it is the kids take ownership in their learning. Students know that they have to know the speech sounds of the English language in order to read. The want is there. They want to be able to be successful. They want to be able to master this whole new adventure called reading. I would have students in my class pick up small mirrors to make sure that they were forming their letter sounds correctly when trying to blend words. After they correct their mouth, their tongue, and their breathing formation of letters, students knew that they could use this resource whenever they needed it. Another common picture in my classroom would be when students would pick up necessary sensory tools to manipulate the sounds in words. Each speech sound card helps them attack words. A normal site would be for students covering up prefixes and suffixes to find the root word and then chunk the parts. When you walk in my classroom, what you really see is engagement. Students have visual phonics cues they use along with physical motions to engage in phonological awareness. There is an excitement because they know that all these strategies are working and they're finding success. One of my students named Gracie was struggling with reading. She was the typical young reader that would just look at you when she came to a word she didn't know and she wanted help, like the word was written on my forehead. She was easily frustrated and would often give up. In just 2 short weeks, I started working with her one-on-one 15 minutes before school started. From the beginning, I set the expectations on what she needed to take ownership of her reading. When she encountered difficult words, she started not to hesitate, but to use the strategies that we learned in class. I was finally able to see Gracie just blossom. She had the support she needed to succeed. Once she became fluent with knowing all of her speech sounds of the English language, she understood how words work, and she was able to decode simple words. And then she started to attack 2-syllable words effortlessly. Once she started feeling success, she no longer looked at me for help, and now she's reading fluently at grade level. As I gain experience using this program, I begin to realize that there's some innovative things that need to be done. So, as I move forward and I tackle next year, I plan to make sensory boxes for each table. I also plan to have desk tools with all the speech sounds as a visual right at their fingertips. And I also plan on making Val Valley bulletin boards and increasing the resources around my room. When trying to tackle this diverse population in our society, we need to come up with some initiatives that will help. One thing that I have done this year is I've recorded video recordings to place on a social media platforms to share and collaborate with my parents so they knew how to help their child at home. By using these learning elements from the Letters program, I've been able to give parents pointers of the do's and the don'ts of helping their child. This has been extra beneficial for my students. And once being comfortable in this outlet, I can see myself sharing my expertise with others to ultimately lead to improvement because the vision is for all students to be literate in the future. Being involved on Facebook groups has also been an eye-opener for me. I've been able to gain resources from other people and then in return share those with parents school-wide from primary to the intermediate level. In today's society, it's really hard to get parents to come into the school for family literacy night, but I've offered and met with parents in person. Putting recordings on social media has definitely been a game changer because parents want to help their child, they just don't know how, and they don't have the tools they need. Okay, so with all this being said, what do I need from you? I need you to bring this information back to your local elementary schools. I need you to bring it to special education teachers and any literacy leaders you know. We need to make this professional development free and accessible to teachers that are working with non-readers or students that are struggling with reading. We need to let districts know that this valuable resource is available. We need to start building leadership capacity in our schools. This training is available in most states, and it's definitely available in Kentucky. We need to grow experts in this area. We need to build this leadership capacity within our schools. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we can improve these statistics mentioned earlier in my presentation. We need more people to pick up a book for pleasure. I don't know about you, but reading a book for pleasure has done wonders for me and my mental health. It helps me take time for myself. We need millions of more people reading above a 5th grade level so we can shape our future with literate citizens. As reading teachers, a scary thought, but it is reality. It's a rewarding thought, but it's so much responsibility. The future is in our hands.